Hey guys, it's Car Guy 11. I have a cool modern classic car today that I think a lot of you guys will like, and I've never done one on the channel, and that is the Subaru WRX STI. This is a 2004 with the owner Glenn here. Thanks for offering it up, Glenn. This is super cool. I've, like I said, never been in one, and this is the first generation that came to the US, right? The first STI that came to the US was 2004. So this example is mint. 33,000 miles. It's in excellent shape. Of course, it's in the white, which is also rare because I've always, and I'm sure a lot of you guys do too, remember the, Road Rally blue that's typically on them with the gold wheels. So when I was a little bit surprised to see the white, but very cool nonetheless. And Glenn's also owned this since it was brand new, right? So maybe you could tell the story of, like, did you know this vehicle was coming out, or did was this something that you like had to order from a dealer, a special order, or?
Well, I had seen the WRXs for a few years prior and read articles about them.
Yeah, because I think the WRX came out in like 2002, I think.
Sounds right.
Something like that. So
I went and test drove one of those, and I wasn't impressed enough. It just didn't have enough power for me, and it just felt kind of cheap, I guess, or something. And but then these came out, and reading all the articles about these, and everybody was just going crazy about them. So I just shopped around.
Okay, so you didn't have to actually special order it then?
No,
they had it on the lot.
It was in the showroom floor, in the prime spot there, showing it off. And yeah, and so driving it home was the first time I drove it, and I wasn't disappointed.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you remember the cost of it?
32.
Wow. Yeah, and back then that was a lot. This is 20 years ago, guys. So back then that would have been like 50,000, Oh wow, she moves still. That wasn't even full throttle. But yeah, turbo kicks in good. Actually, I was expecting more lag than I experienced. There's plenty of power. And this, of course, is the 2.5 liter turbo 4-cylinder. The same they kept in the STI in every generation up until they discontinued it, which is funny. So about 300 horsepower. Now this one, it has a slight tune on it, you said?
Right. It has, I put a turbo downpipe, which includes a high flow cat. So I've got rid of that whole stock contraption. And I took it, had it tuned in pure tuning up in like Toledo, I believe, Ohio.
Okay.
And it just made a huge difference. It just runs so much better. And they dynoed it. It's like 280, something like that. And I was just so happy after I did that.
And of course you got the huge front hood vent here, and that's feeding the intercooler. And another cool thing about this car, it has water injection, so it can spray water on that intercooler to cool it off. And there's a button here on the dash. You can actually spray water. There is a tank in the back, and I guess it just sprays it for as long as you push the button.
Right.
That is pretty cool. And of course you have the huge STI wing on the back, the hallmark of this model. But yeah, even down at like 3,000 RPM, you have plenty of turbo punch still. And this gearing was pretty short, so you're not caught with turbo lag much at all. Yeah, under 3,000 you get a little bit of lag, but again, this is really good for the time period. And you could hear the turbo and the blow-off valve. It's pretty cool. And the exhaust is very tame on this. This is stock exhaust, right?
From the downpipe back, yeah.
Okay.
The downpipe gave it a little more of a rumble, but yeah, it's still pretty quiet. throw shifter.
Yeah.
And to me, it still kind of rattled a little too much for me, so I took the interior out and did the whole sound deadening thing inside. So it's probably a lot quieter than a typical one would be.
Okay. Yeah, the shifter is nice, very short shifts, and it has the metal shift ball, but that wasn't stock either.
Right.
Okay.
I replaced that.
Yeah, it's very easy to rev match as well. Like, that throttle was super responsive. This is a relatively stock example too, so very cool to experience it very close to how it was in 2004. And boy, she moves. She does move good, and this is only around 3,200 pounds as well, all-wheel drive, of course. And you can adjust the center differential with this dial down here.
Right.
But that was another very futuristic new feature at the time where you could adjust that. In fact, heck, today you can't even do that on most cars. So that was super cool. So you could actually almost make it mostly rear-wheel drive bias if you wanted to.
Right. I really usually just leave it alone. I think the automatic, if you just leave it in the automatic mode, you know, the computer figures out the best need for the power.
Okay.
You know, so.
Downshift here. Plenty of power. Jeez. I feel a little bit of push. This might be favoring the front.
Yeah, I told you that front really pulls.
Yeah, the front wants to pull more. Maybe that's why they have that. So you could put more toward the rear.
You want to play with it a little bit?
Sure. Why don't we?
The manual.
Yeah. Why don't you try it there?
In the middle.
I think that's a little better. Yeah.
Good show.
Yep. So I punched it there in the corner, and you could feel the rear.
And you'd rather feel the rear than the front.
Right. So yeah, that is the setting you want.
Nice, man.
I
Thanks.
think. Brakes on this back then, 4-corner Brembo brakes, which is super nice, and they're painted gold, of course. But the rears even are single piston Brembos in the rear. So, all right, we'll do a nice launch here. Has a shift light. And yes, again, no problem. She moves very well. And I think the weight helps a lot too, so. And it just very tossable feeling. Now the steering, I think the steering is a little, this is hydraulic steering too. It doesn't have a lot of feel. There's a little bit of a dead zone in the middle, but I think, again, at that time, it wasn't as precise. And the gauges are very clear, nice round dials with the red background. And it has the add-on turbo gauge on the steering column, which is pretty cool, another STI feature. Interior-wise, you got the cool STI embroidering on the seats, all blue seats, blue carpet, which is super cool. I love blue. Of course, you guys know that. Very cool accents on this car with the white exterior. You know, at that time, there wasn't really anything like it. The Mitsubishi Evo was also just coming out, I think right around that same time as well, which of course was its competition. Other than that, there really wasn't much on the market as far as all-wheel drive, manual, you know, sports car. But yeah, Glenn, I think you should hold on to this one. It's probably worth a lot of money at this point, especially in the condition it is in, and it's relatively stock. So I really appreciate you letting me drive your baby.
It's my pleasure. It's nice to have somebody driving it really well. I mean, you know how to work that clutch.
Thanks. Yeah, I do enjoy manual, even though, you know, I do have some autos in my fleet at this point. But all right, guys. Well, hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.